Hi guys, Robot1 here, coming at you with a new Yu-Gi-Oh video, talking about a subject that I kind of came up with last night because it's like, I've been testing some Yu-Gi-Oh things, and testing what I tested last night makes me think about what Konami are doing with the game, and for how long they've actually been trying to do this, and it's just like, it's finally hit a point where I'm like, Konami are actually trying to make the game go second? And it's like, where did this idea stem from? Well, um, this idea stemmed from last night when I was testing the new mekk-knight deck. As in they say in the OCG, Jax Knights. I prefer Jax Knights, but we're calling them mekk-knights because of Konami's stupid name changing policies. And looking at that, it made me and looking at Jax Knights, it made me think, wow, this deck cannot go first in any circumstances. This deck really, oh boy, can't go first. And looking at it as a whole, as just an entire thing, the deck cannot go first at all. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, are Konami purposely trying to make the game go second? And as I kept thinking about this on and on and on, it dawned to me that Konami have been trying to make the game better going second for a very long time. And this stems all the way back from just before Dorde's Alliance, when we could draw 6 cards going first. And a lot of you new players might not know this. Yes, once upon a time in the game, you were able to draw 1 card on your first turn, having 6 cards in your opening hand instead of 5. And as soon as we got the Pendulum era, they changed that to inaugurating so you can only draw 5 cards if you're going first instead of 6. Now, why is this such an important part? Well, before we could only draw 5 cards, when we could only draw 5 cards, there was literally no downside to going first. Before this, we could go first, draw 6 cards, and have no care in the world if we were going first or if we were going second. Like, if we were going first, we draw an extra card. We draw 6 cards just like our opponent, and there was no downside. Like, you could even just set up all your trap cards, you could set up all your monster plays. Like, that going first had 0 downsides in that format. In the formats before that, where you could literally just have 6 cards in your open hand. Then, Konami inaugurated the rule, put the rule in, where you could only draw 5 cards. This made people decide, is it better to go first, or is it better to go second? This actually made people start thinking. And then we went down a little more, we got to Mermail formats. Mermails came along, it started to seem like it could be better to go second because they FTK'd very easily. Go a little more down the line, then we hit stuff like Dragon Rulers, where going first or going second really doesn't matter. Go a little more down the line. Wait, no, Dragon Rulers was before that. My bad. Or was it? No, they were both before that. Mermails... This was all before the rule change. I don't know what I'm talking about, but even back then, it was like, Mermails want to go second because you get your attack phase, but those are examples as well where it doesn't really matter to go for second, such as Dragon Rulers and Mermails, which were basically built to kind of go second, but could also go first. Those are another examples of what I'm trying to say right now, because they were options where you could go first or second, and you wouldn't really care. But yeah, back to the format we're on about, we're in Pendulum format. Whereas when you could only draw 5 cards, we got like 4 decks, not 5. BA, Shadow, Tellarknights, and Yang Zing. And all of these decks wanted to go first, I might add. All of these decks wanted to go first. They really didn't want to go second at any point in time because they really didn't care about their setup. And at those points in time, it was like, we don't care. We just want to play the game and win. And looking at it as a whole, it's like Konami are realizing that they need to go second, that they need to make second going better. And like, as we've gone down the line, Yugioh has just been going more and more first oriented. Like when we hit Pepe, Pepe was completely go first, because Pepe was like, well, I'm going to make an Infinity with a Rafflesia, have a Summon Strike set so I can stop everything you do. That was Pepe. And when we hit that format, Konami destroyed the deck. But even still, Magician, then we hit the Draco Power format, and they wanted to go first. But we also, when we hit that, a little before, we got Cosmos, a deck that wants to go second. Now, that's also an option, of course, going second, but there's also things you've got to take into account with this. Like, you may be wanting to go second with this deck, but looking at it as a whole, you're not wanting to go first. Like, you're wanting to go first still. Like, even in Cosmos, like, where they were. Sure, they were a second-orientated deck, but they still wanted to go first because they could make stuff like Infinity turn 1. And they could make all sorts because they had like free telly and free of all of that back then. Then we go into Draco Power format, where Draco Powers personally wanted to go first because they could constantly blow out their steam, their power. They could blow out a whole powerful board at turn 1. We also saw Cosmos, another deck that wanted to go second, but they weren't really the best deck, even though they were really a good deck. We also had Monarchs in that format that obviously wanted to go first, because if they go first, they don't really have to care about anything, because they're not afraid of Max C. The only cards they're afraid is Vela. Plus, they had the extra deck build that they really didn't, that made it even better, which I believe topped Nationals that year, in 2016? Yeah, 2016. Then we hit... Then we went into Heroes. After the Nationals, we got Invasion Vengeance. Invasion Vengeance? Oh, I got the set on the wall. Yeah, Invasion Vengeance, where we hit hero format, water hero format, where we just saw lots of water decks coming along. We saw Paleo Frogs. We saw all of this, which was boosted. And Paleos wanted to go first, Heroes wanted to go first, so we were in another first format. And going further and further down the line, we hit where we are now, where we've got Spirals running amok, we've got Pendulum Magician running amok, we've got Trickstar running amok, and none of these decks want to go second. None of them want to go second, and that's kind of the point I want to make here. None of these decks want to go second, but it seems like with the introduction of Jack Knights and with all of this support that's coming out later on, and even when we got Circuit Break, Konami are realizing that they have to try and make the game go second. And that's something I really wanted to just discuss, because it's like, well, we've got Evenly Matched, which is a perfect going second card, and it just makes going second better in general. And then we've got mekk-knights now, which can only go second. They're a deck that can only go second and can be very good going second, because they can play cards such as the Kaiju package, which I should have mentioned earlier. Yeah, Kaiju package is another thing that lets you go second, but it's not really second-based deck, and even if you're going second with the deck, your Great Old Kaiju era was like, I want to go first still because I can set a Kaiju. I mean, I can set a Great Old and my trap cards to be able to gain more advantage. But as we keep going down the line, where we are now, we've got Spirals which want to go first, we've got Trickstars that want to go first, we've got Pendulum Magicians that want to go first, which is basically the triangle, which I feel like Pendulum Magician at the top, Spirals is here, Trickstar is here, Trickstar beats, Magician beats Spirals, Trickstar beats Magician beats Trickstar, Trickstar beats Magicians, and Spiral can beat Magicians, but Magicians can also beat Spiral, which is why I put Magicians on the top. But nonetheless, we're in a format where I feel like Konami are actually realizing that you have to play a going second base deck. They have to make a deck that is really good going second. And with this, I feel like Konami are learning their lesson, because with cards that are coming out soon, we're getting Red Reboot. Red Reboot, which is a card that's like, I literally negate your cards going second. I can trap stun you going second, so I'm able to win the game. They also have cards we also have another card coming out called a Cybernetic something. I forgot the name. It's basically a trap card that if you control no cards, activate the card from your hand and negate any face-up card. I forgot the name sadly, because brain can't remember the card name. I've not tested the card. I don't really care for the card. But the Konami are basically learning their lesson, where they need to change the game in a way that they have to make the game go second. They're trying to make the game go second by making decks such as mekk-knights, and they're making trap cards that can go second, because all trap cards in the game are, well, except for the like Solemns and Evenly Matched, are really bad because they can't be used from hands, and because they can't just be used from the hand. And Konami are just learning their lesson, where they need to actually make a game. They need to change the game completely and just reformat to be able to go first and second is good. They need to make it like that because Konami have been trying to do this for a long time. Ever since, as I mentioned, with the hand size going from 6 to 1 going first, Konami have realized this. They're trying to make their game slower, and they're not really succeeding. Like with the decks they're bringing out, it does make the game somewhat slower. It makes the game more interesting, somewhat slower. But where we are now, Konami aren't doing a good enough job, and I feel like Konami are just realizing this and that they need to somewhat change the format up a bit and just make the decks go second and build decks that can go second that are just going to be, or are specifically built to go second that are just amazing. Such as the Jack Knights, which like you can literally main like evenly matched, you can main kaijus, you can main pretty much any going second card in that deck. Hand traps galore if you want, and that's what I feel like Jack Knights are meant to be. They're meant to be. That's not just something what I wanted to talk like Jack Knights. Jack Knights are specifically built to go second, and that this idea essentially stems from that. Konami are figuring out that they have to make the game go second, and just because of this, I feel like we're going to be getting a lot more cards that allow us to go second in the game over hand traps and stuff, because Ash Blossom is stupid, Maxi is stupid, and Konami have learned the lesson with that. So yeah, guys, that's just what I wanted to talk about today. It's like, if you enjoyed this idea of mine that Konami are actually making the game built to go second again, tell me what you think of that in the comment section below, because I always love to hear your ideas. Oh, guys, but yeah, I always love to hear your ideas. I love to have discussions about stuff like this with you guys. I just like to talk to you guys about this, and again, sorry for the setup. I literally could not film over there, put the camera over there, because it was like, you couldn't see me. You just couldn't see me. Like, I literally had to put stuff there and put stuff there in front of my windows just so, like, you could see me now, because literally the sun is just ruining my videos. I can't do anything about it, guys. But yeah, sorry again for that. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, tell me what you thought of the video in the comments below. We can have a discussion about this. We can talk about it and whatever. You can give me your opinions on this. Do you think Konami is trying to make the game go second? If you liked the video, then leave a like on the video to show that you want to see more discussions from me, to show that you want to see more interesting videos like this, see more unique ideas like this, because I don't think anyone's made a video like this talking about if Konami's actually realized that they're trying to make the game go second. And also, if you just in general like my Yu-Gi-Oh content, subscribe to see more Yu-Gi-Oh content in your subscription box, and also press the notification button if you want to be notified of that Yu-Gi-Oh content, so you can be like one of the first ones to watch it. And yeah, but that's the video. Tell me what you thought of it in the comment section below, as I said. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos. And yeah, do you guys think Konami is trying to make the game go second? I do, because Jack Knights are a clear sign of it. But yeah, guys, tell me what you think of this in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Robot1, signing out.